here's Brody Brazil.
Throughout this 2024 Oakland A's season, and what is scheduled to be their final ever year at the Coliseum, we've started to notice an interesting trend. Opposing teams come into town and play what is expected to be their final series ever in Oakland at the Coliseum. And players, broadcasters, coaches, most of them you would have to think are, at the very least, pretty aware of the situation and the circumstances. But then there's another level of individuals like Chris Bassitt, who was greatly connected to the Oakland organization, cut his teeth across Major League Baseball, in this ballpark largely, and feels extra special and different about what is likely his last trip ever as a big leaguer to the Oakland Coliseum. By the way, back on Friday night, he went 8 innings against the A's, only 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 102 pitches in what turned out to be a bottom of the ninth walk-off by the Oakland A's. So the A's win the game, but certainly Bassitt was the winning starter, not with the decision, but at least in terms of his performance. So Bassitt left the Coliseum with the best memory he could, but he also did some pretty interesting things, at least sentimentally, that caught my attention, and quite honestly, I wanted to share, and these are things that get me thinking. Here's a tweet from Adrian who says, Chris Bassitt reaches down to scoop some Oakland Coliseum dirt after his final strikeout tonight. This was back on Friday night. His 2.36 ERA at the Coliseum is the second lowest all-time with a minimum of 250 innings pitched. That means he's above Catfish, Vida, Raleigh, Eck, and Stu, etc. I mean, just that class alone is enough. He trails only Paul Lindblad's 2.29 ERA. So the performance in Oakland, great, but picking up the dirt and putting it in his back pocket like he did, and saying after the game that he was going to save that dirt and put it in a shadow box, keep it forever. Chris Bassitt took dirt off the Coliseum mound that he just finished pitching off of. He didn't do this before Friday night's game. He didn't do this after Sunday's game. He decided to do this as soon as he was done pitching, as soon as he threw his likely final ever pitch in Oakland at the Coliseum. He took that dirt, he pocketed it, and he's going to keep it forever. And I'll be honest, Bassy, if you ever see this, thank you, my man. Not for everything else, which I'll get into, like that too, but thank you for that great idea. I think I'm going to do the same thing at some point. Take some dirt, keep it, and save it. Here's what Chris told MLB.com after the game. I don't know if I'll ever see this place again. A lot of people would come here and see how bad Oakland's Coliseum is. And I just see people. I see BoMel. I see Matt Olson, Matt Chapman doing stupid stuff. I see Marcus Semien. I see Chad Pinder, Mark Canha. I see all those guys. This place obviously is very, very special to me. There's a million different places in this place that I see funny, weird things that happen, and it just brings me back to my best friends in the game. A building's a building. I just care about the people more so than anything. And I want to add on to that point. You know, Chris didn't have to say anything about this. He could have been quick about it. He also differentiates, the building, the structure, the Coliseum from the people. And I know he's not just talking about former players of yesteryear that are also gone from Oakland now. He's talking about the people of Oakland and the East Bay community and the Oakland A's fan base. I just care about the people more so than anything. And it's all of this put together, what he did on Friday night, taking the dirt, what he said after the game. And then I bring you to Saturday morning. It's the Blue Jays playing an afternoon affair, and as they put on Twitter, a special day in the Bay. Chris Bassitt spent 6 seasons with the Athletics. Today, he took our pitchers and staff up to the top of the Coliseum to visit the, infamous would have been a better word, but legendary Mount Davis. Ironically, the thing that kind of killed the Coliseum most over all the years, it was probably the football edition out there, but Chris took his Blue Jays teammates who, let me circle back to the beginning of the video. Some probably have certain feelings about this. Others have no feelings. Like, again, just not connected. Stadium's a stadium. They don't really have any background with Oakland or the A's or anything. It might be their first time there. But for Bassitt to offer up that opportunity and say, guys, come with me. This means something to me. I want to share in this experience. I want to pass this on to you so you can understand. And this was photographed, by the way. They could have also done this without the media attention. And it's not really media attention. It's the team's social media account covering this. But he didn't mind that everybody got to see what he did at this stadium to share it with everybody else. It was a little publicized. I love it in this case. Chris did what he did on Friday. He said what he said on Friday night. And then he did this on Saturday for the cameras to see and for everybody out there to see. There's only so much he can do or say about this situation. It's not really in his control, the whole last year at the Coliseum thing. But he decided to go up there with his boys and just let them understand. And so I think it's the mixture of all the things he did in a quick weekend trip to the Bay Area in Northern California that just really pulls at the heartstrings, to be honest with you. It's special. You wouldn't expect much less from Chris Bassitt. And again, when I said before, I don't want to say thank you for all that stuff, but you know what? No, now I really do want to say thank you for all that stuff. The Oakland A's didn't get a lot of time with Chris Bassitt. In reality, they did because he came over in 2014, early 15, was injured for a couple years, earned his way the hard way into the pitching rotation, eventually became the opening night starter, became the dominant ace of that staff. And just like how the team got broken up, trading away Chapman, trading away Olson, trading away Sean Murphy, but even before that, trading away Chris Bassitt to the Mets. It stung. It still does sting, to be honest with you. But I'm glad he feels the way he feels and says the things he says, because he's always kind of been that way. A team leader who earned his voice, earned the opportunity, and like I said, did it the hard way. So, Chris Bassitt, thank you very much for your trip to the Coliseum. Thank you for doing what you did and being who you've always been. It's really appreciated. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me and this channel and this video. And by the way, if you also would go down there and hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it so I can definitely get to see you back here next time.